Okay guys, now that we've covered some stretching exercises to lengthen the lower back and stretch open those tight muscles, we're now going to look at some core strengthening exercises for the core and specific lower back muscles. So, first of all, we're going to start with a nice easy one, which you can do even if your lower back pain is very bad and very acute. This is a pretty safe exercise to start with. So we're going to lie on a nice flat surface, walking the heels all the way up to the buttocks. And what we're going to do from here is we're simply going to press our lower back into the floor, and by doing that, that will engage the core. It's quite a subtle movement, but we're trying to flatten the curve of our lower back here, boom, to the floor. An easy way to do this, if you're not sure, is to actually put your hands under your lower back and try and press your back into your hands and almost sandwich your hands between the floor and the lower back. Once you get the hang of this, you just want to practice holding the contraction for about a second and releasing. Holding the contraction for a second and releasing. Once you've done sort of 10 to 20 reps, you can even hold the contraction for a longer time, say like 5 seconds, 3, 2, 1, and release again. So just gradually build up the reps and the time you spend holding your back in contraction, and this is just a really nice, easy way to start strengthening these muscles in the safest position possible. The next exercise I'm going to show you are called dead bugs. So this is again somewhat challenging, but still relatively sort of basic, safe exercise you can do to strengthen the sort of core muscles in the lower back, especially improving that stability, which is a really crucial component in order to kind of protect your back from any harm or injury in the future. So let's go into it. So again, just starting in a nice neutral lying position, you're going to take your knees and feet off the floor, so they're at a right angle here, and you're going to raise your arms so that they're parallel to your thighs. Now the coordination on this is a little bit of a challenge. What we need to do is we're going to drop the opposite arm and leg and raise up, and again dropping the opposite arm and leg and raise up. And we're just going to keep going like so. At first, the coordination is definitely going to be a bit of a challenge, and it's going to take a while for you to get it. So that the ideal is that the legs and arms start moving at the same time and stop moving at the same time. Now, once you've got the hang of that and you're comfortable and you can do something like 20 to 30 reps without too much trouble, to make it more difficult, the progression is we straighten the legs up like so. And then we continue in exactly the same vein, dropping down the opposite arm and leg. Nice, slow, controlled movements. The next exercise we're going to look at are quite similar to the dead bugs that we've just done, and they're called Supermans. So they're basically the same exercise, but this time we're going to be on all fours and we're going to do it facing down, but we're still working on that alternate coordination between the arms and legs, which is really important for core stability. So, to start with, spread our hands nice and wide on the mat, and we're going to come into this position here, back nice and straight. We don't want to be doing these exercises with an arched back like this. Again, we talked about how the lower back is safer when it's in a flat, neutral position like so. So this is really important to try and maintain a strong, stable, neutral core and lower back. So again, just like the last exercise, we're going to raise alternate arms and legs. Nice, slow, coordinated movements. Again, notice how my lower back is staying nice and neutral during these exercises. I'm not doing this, arching the back. It's nice and neutral, flat to the floor. Again, not arching the back, keeping it nice and straight. So now we're going to move on to the dreaded plank. And yes, it is still a very good, basic, challenging exercise to really strengthen the core, work on that stability and protect the lower back. I recommend doing the dead bugs and the supermans until you really feel comfortable with those before moving on to it. And then once we've got a nice, strong, stable plank position, we can start adding more challenging stability exercises to this as well. So these are all just progressions that we can move on to. So a correct plank, especially if in the context of working with lower backs, is we want to make sure that our lower back is not arched like this. This is terrible. We really want to make sure that that lower back is flat. We also don't want to have our whole body totally straight like this. We actually want to have a slight bend in the hips so that our back is about parallel to the floor and there's a slight angle where the hips bend so that our legs are straight and then our lower back is parallel. And to start with, I just want you to hold this position here. You can contract your quadriceps and activate them nice and strongly, but apart from that, I just want you to start by making sure that back position is nice and safe. So once you've got a nice, strong, stable base plank, we can start making it a bit more challenging. So the first way we're going to do this is by just raising one leg off the floor like so, and just alternate that. So you're holding for, maybe about 5 seconds each leg, making sure that when we raise the leg, again, we're not distorting the back. That back has to stay neutral. That's the most important thing. Again, raising the leg, don't distort the back, keep the back nice and parallel to the floor. We're going to move on to the side plank. So a strong core is all about stability. We need to be stable in different planes of motions, and we need to be stable laterally as well as frontally. So the side plank is going to really challenge the oblique muscles, the internal and external, and we're also going to work the gluteus medius muscles, which are very important for that hip stability, which is definitely tied into core stability, and all of this helps protect the lower back. So, to start with, we want to be lying on our sides like so, and we're going to start just on our elbows and on our forearms like this. You can either have your hand flat to the floor or your hand turned up, it doesn't really matter. Have our arms straight to the side, and we're just going to raise ourselves up like so. And to start with, you're just going to hold for about 5 seconds or so. It's going to be quite challenging if you haven't done this movement before, and just keep repeating to hold for about 5 seconds or so. Again, I would say probably want to repeat that about 5 times or so to start with, something like that. And then you're going to change, doing exactly the same on the other side, making sure that forearms a nice parallel base, straightening the legs, arms out to the side, and lifting up, like so. So, once you've practiced the side plank for some time, you feel confident in that position, you're stable, you can hold for about 30 seconds to a minute at a time, then again we can start to add some more challenging variations to that position. So, we're going to start from exactly the same base position on our forearm here, legs straight, arms to the side. Lift ourselves up, so make sure we've again got a nice strong stable core, and then we can actually start lifting the leg up like so. And this is going to serve to challenge the glute medius muscles on the lateral side of the hip to a greater extent, and really just work that whole stability chain. And again, once you've done one side, Making sure you're always doing both sides. Even if your back pain is just a one-sided back pain, strengthen both sides. Make sure you're doing it evenly. Again, nice strong base with the forearm, pushing up, raising that leg, and down. Raising, and down.